Morning glory and evening grace, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Welcome back. I am joined by Salena Zito, author of the best-selling, soon-to-be best-selling book, Butler, which is about her first-person experience standing next to President Trump when he was shot in the aforementioned Butler. She and President Trump talk a lot. Salena, I want to begin by asking, have you ever talked with him about Iran?
I have not talked to him about Iran. Traditionally, our conversations focus on working class people, working people, and the coalition that formed to support him. It's a very Jacksonian coalition, but we've never talked about Iran at all.
All right, I want your guess. Do you think he's going to send the B-2s to bomb Fordo?
Oh gosh, I don't know how to guess that. However, here's what I do think. I think that as people watch this scenario play out and as the speculation grows, I think people should remember that President Trump has always said and has said for 10 years he does not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Period. End of story. He's also said, I don't want endless wars. I think somewhere in there is what's going to happen. What I do think is really important that people understand is that no matter what's happening online, this coalition isn't going anywhere. And if people think that this whatever decision he makes in this moment, if they think this changes his coalition, then they do not understand Jacksonians because they're not going anywhere.
I want to tell you about something the president said when he was out front and they dedicated the flagpole today. Let's play clip number 13.
And I hope you enjoy it. And let's see how real people work. These are real people. You're not real people. You're obviously okay. That's one around the.
Okay, talking about the construction workers who are going to put up the flagpole. These are real people. And he turns to the journalist, you have easy jobs. He really knows that stuff, Salena.
He does. The first interview I did with President Trump, it was in September of 2016. It was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was at the Marcellus Shale Coalition big convention, right? There's a whole bunch of suits there. They can't wait to see them. They can't wait to join him in the click line. But where I saw him shine, where I saw him have back and forth conversations, and where I saw him connect with people was when, after we were finished with the interview, he said, it takes me out of the green room, which was really just four blue curtains. And he takes me out of the green room and he says, come on, take a walk with me. And he just takes a walk. There's no cameras. I'm not recording. It was, it wasn't a part of the interview. But I see the interaction he had with the people that are pushing the carts with the bottled water, the electricians, the construction people, the people that made that convention happen, not the people that paid ten
Up, we
thousand
lost your
dollars to
audio,
go. Right?
Selena. Okay.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back. Let me play for you another cut of the president from the flagpole today, cut number 15.
I know you enjoy being president, but you ever miss Lincoln?
I love construction.
Yeah, well, it's in your heart, isn't it?
Well, I love it. I know it better than anybody. When I see a train, a railroad going from San Francisco to L.A., I think it's 100 times over that.
It's incredible.
One of the most incompetent things. That's Newscom.
And why do they keep funding that?
I think we're not going to anymore. In fact, a little bit of a story, we're not going to fund that anymore. It's out of control. First of all, it doesn't go where it's supposed to. It's supposed to go from L.A. to San Francisco. Now, because they don't have any money, they've spent, 30, 40 times more than it was supposed to spend. And they made it much shorter because it no longer goes into the cities. It stops miles outside of the cities.
I love construction, and then he jumps on the train to nowhere that will never get done in the middle of the Central Valley, America's Stonehenge. Selena, he's on a roll.
He is on a roll. About 10 days ago, I had the honor and privilege to ride on Air Force One. And I was riding actually back home to Pittsburgh for the U.S. Steel announcement with Nippon. And we get into the building, and he's looking out at everyone before he goes out onto the stage. And he says, "Come here, Salena." And he said, "You look at these people. I love these people. These are my people. These are the people that make America work. They're the ones that do the things that aren't expecting praise, but that make our country function. They make our bridges better. They make our lives better." And he smiled, and I was like, this is why he went to places like Butler, why he went to places like East Palestine, because these are the people that he has connective tissue with. And a lot of that has to do with growing up on a construction site. People think of him as like rich, and he is, and the gold tower, and he has that. But he cut his teeth with the working men and women that made him be successful, that help uplift his success. And that is very, very hard to break for him. For him not to be deeply appreciative of those people.
What did you make of the Nippon deal? It happened while I was abroad. I'm glad it happened because I thought it was good for America's steel industry, but I was surprised by the rapidity with which it came together.
It was amazing. This is a story I have covered from the very beginning. You and I have talked about this since 2017, when things started to fall apart with U.S. Steel. And it became evident that it was going to move out of Western Pennsylvania. And this is historic. You and I lived through what happened in Warren and Youngstown and up and down what they used to call the Steel Valley, right? This is a completely different ending to a story that I don't know that you and I, or people of our age who grew up in Eastern Ohio or Western Pennsylvania, ever thought would happen. And it doesn't just impact Western Pennsylvania. This impacts the entire chain of our economy, right? From our cars to our bridges to our appliances, everything we do and in this country is goes back to steel. So if American steel is prosperous, the country is prosperous.
And how many people were there waiting for him when he got off of Air Force One? I did not see this story covered very much abroad. I'm not surprised, but I just don't know the details.
Thousands. And I also had the honor and privilege of riding on in the Beast with him, where he tried to talk me into having a Diet Coke because I never had one before. That was pretty funny because I couldn't not make a face when I tasted it. He goes, "Oh, you don't like it, do you?" um, but they're not. I mean, it was pouring down rain. There was thunder and lightning. The wind was sideways, and yet the entire trip was lined with people waving to him, let alone all the people that were inside the Urban Works steel plant in West Mifflin. It was one of the best days I've had as a reporter, to see this come full circle in a positive way. Usually there's not a good story to tell about steel in America. But as churches, entire communities, families were split up because people had to, move and find jobs in other places. And I know you're not going to like this part, but there are 4,000 Steeler bars across the country, not because that's how many people moved away, but still wanted to have that connectivity to home.
No, I appreciate it. I just hope they don't have anything to celebrate there. Salena, I want to close by asking you about Air Force One. I have never been on any Air Force One except the one parked at the Reagan Air Museum. It's beautiful. How was this Air Force? He wants to get rid of this one. How'd you like it?
Well, I mean, I'm a kid from the wrong side of the tracks in the city of Pittsburgh. It was pretty amazing for me. The fact that I was there and not only got to ride in it and we had some very deep emotional conversations about Butler ahead of my book coming out, but also just had like great conversations about the steel industry. And it was an honor to be able to have that experience.
Salena, I'm looking forward to Butler. What day is publication day?
July 8th.
Go and pre-order it right now at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold online. Butler, you can't forget it, where someone tried to kill President Trump. Salena Zito was standing right there. And follow Salena at Zito Salena on X, and all of Salena's writings available at salenazito.com. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned.
The Hugh Hewitt Show is now available on TV. Go to salemnewschannel.com or download the app. You can also watch on Roku and Fire Stick. Salem News Channel, the antidote to the mainstream media.